about 6 months away from the end of the world. You know that, right?
Climate chaos kicks in 156 days, right?
165, I think it is.
156.
Yeah, we're down to 156
Yeah,
already.
we've lost 10
156
days already. Or soon. 9 days have lost.
That's because the days are going by faster.
Yeah, this is the countdown to climate chaos, 156 days away from climate chaos. And this comes from the French foreign minister. We've been tracking this for about 350 days. Here's what he said.
We have 500 days to avoid the climate chaos.
Yeah.
Very important issue of climate change, climate chaos, and I said that we had 500 days to avoid climate chaos, and I know that President Obama and John Kerry himself are committed on this subject, and I'm sure that them, with a lot of other friends, we should be able to reach a success in this very important matter.
So we only have 156 days left to be able to reach a global consensus. After that, you're on your own, sister. Well, welcome to Earth Day. It's very exciting around here. I cut down my tree.
What?
You what? Did it?
Yeah, I didn't decorate a tree.
You didn't. You hugged a tree. You hugged.
Thank you. I hugged a tree today.
Made sweet tender love to it.
That seems a little
no.
far.
Well, you're supposed to love the tree.
Yeah,
and
but not.
So,
well, I'm
not loving
who
on the
knows?
tree.
Once, love knows no boundaries. That's all I'm saying.
Was there consent from the tree? Trees have spirits too.
This is a war on tree women.
That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're sick. Wow.
Yeah.
So hugging it is as far as you can go.
That's about
I just want to know the boundaries.
And if its spirit says
you
hug
can
me.
kiss a
I think
little
you
bit.
can make out.
No,
Okay.
no.
I think you can make
can't.
out.
No.
Why not?
No.
Not even a
Still
little?
wants to make
I
out.
hope you get slivers on your tongue.
Wow, that's a little serious. It's a little extreme.
You guys are sick.
I'm just
It's an
I'm a
innocent
little
tree.
I'm a little stressed out, I will say.
Are you?
Yeah, I've been reading a lot about what's happening to our Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading this one particular article from December 29th, 1974.
Wow, why are you reading from way back in 1974?
I just feel like that's an important date.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a flux capacitor.
Right.
That's an important date.
Is
of
it an
science.
important person from 1974 that wrote this?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Where did it come from?
The Lakeland Ledger.
Okay.
I've been reading a lot of old school Lakeland Ledger recently.
Don't we all?
I don't even know where Lakeland or the Ledger is from.
Oh, really?
No.
That's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an odd piece of information to not know.
Okay.
Anyway, a number of climatologists have been predicting deterioration of the benign climate to which we have grown accustomed.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's scary. They are seeing a global cooling trend.
Yeah.
And they have scientists and policymakers so worried that in January, scientists at a meeting of the National Academy of Sciences.
Okay, so this is not the Lakeland Leisure anymore. This is
The National Academy of
Science.
Academy of
This is
Sciences,
big.
yes.
This is big. This is science. These are the big guys of science.
They made a minor proposal at this get-together.
What'd they say?
Because of the global cooling trend.
Ah, right.
They proposed evacuating 6 million people from the parched homelands in the Sahel region of Africa.
Holy cow.
So, in 1974, they were proposing to evacuate, take people, rip them out of their homes and move them somewhere else, 6 million of them, because of the global cooling trend from the National Academy of
I
Sciences.
wish we could talk to those people today, but they all, of course, froze to death.
They did freeze.
Because they didn't move them.
They didn't move them.
Well, they all died. 6 million people
It's
gone.
so cold in Africa.
So frigid sometimes.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go.
Can't now.
You know.
You
It's
can't.
too cold.
It's just a big
sheet of ice.
It's a big ice skating
of
rink.
ice.
And you just look down and you see people looking up and going, I wish I had moved.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
It is.
Well, they don't say that anymore.
They don't
but
say it anymore.
They're looking like they're
They
saying
did
that.
before they froze
Yeah.
to death.
Right, they were in the mid-sentence.
Yeah, they were like, I really want to look.
Kind of like Han Solo when he was frozen in Star Wars.
Exactly right.
Isn't it kind of amazing that the same people who were saying the same things with the same certitude,
No.
only in an opposite result? Like, so in the 70s, it was, all right, if we don't do something dramatic, we're going to be in a cooling stage from which we will not recover, and there'll be all these disasters. They're saying the exact same thing, even though in each case, neither of those things have happened. Both of the trends have stopped. Because in the 70s, they were citing, all right, it's been cooling now since the 40s, because remember, the 30s were incredibly hot. Then it cooled from the 30s to the 70s. Now it's heated back up a little bit for 2.5 decades, and now it's stopped. And now we're headed for a disaster because of warming. Every single cycle, they predict disaster, and yet we keep listening to them. How is it that nobody says, look, you guys predicted all this stuff back in the 70s. Why? Why do I need to listen to you?
Yeah, and it's not even that people don't bring up how they were wrong last time. They act as if you're insane to question them this time.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Bob Schieffer clip we played yesterday on Pat and Stu, Bob Schieffer is asking Marco Rubio about climate change.
Oh, he was so incredulous.
Yeah, incredulous.
Do you have the audio?
I'll have to find
We'd
that.
have to dig that one up.
Okay.
But
We'll find it,
can't
though, 'cause
even
it's good.
contemplate that he would have said something
Are
like,
you saying, did you actually say that you don't believe that global warming is man-caused? Did you actually say that?
Bob, let me ask you a question. You remember when you were about 85? It was about 1971. And we all thought that it was insane that nobody believed that we were headed for an ice age.
Yeah.
Did you actually get on the air in your mid-70s, back in the mid-70s, and say about a coming ice age and ridicule people then? Because that didn't happen either, Bob. And I just want to...
Yeah. Well, we were talking about the fact that he worked for the news organizations back then, so he heard all these reports.
He knew it.
and he's lived through multiple cycles of too much warming, too much cooling. I mean, here's a guy who was alive in the last ice age, probably.
He doesn't really remember. He doesn't really remember. He doesn't remember the 70s.
Okay.
Because they happened in his 70s.
Do you mean like the 0070s? The 0070s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was alive
like
then.
right after Christ and the apostles were starting to become active.
Right.
He remembers that. It happened in his 70s.
Oh, okay. So wow.
He was 70 when the apostles were like going, I remember this Jesus cat. And he was like, Bob Schieffer was like, wait a minute. You actually believed in that guy? Yeah.
It's a bizarre thing, though. You think someone like that, with the life experience, to go through wrong predictions from so many people that meant well and really wanted to warn people that terrible things were coming, and were wrong so many times, so horrifically.
It's not only that. It is also, everybody always makes the excuse to avoid talking about catastrophes. They always say, well, this time it's different. Well, this time it's different. But while this time it is different, they won't accept that. No, it's exactly like the Ice Age. Can you tell me what caused the Ice Age in the first place? Can you tell me what happened? Well, yeah. It got cold.
It did.
Yeah. Okay. They'll say that this is exactly the same, even if it's exactly the opposite of what they said it happened before. But when it comes to other catastrophes, like we were just talking about with the printing of money or World War or anything like that, no, this time it's different. No, you don't understand. This time it's different. Why is that? Because it doesn't give them power. This gives them power. I love the climate catastrophe from the French guy. You hear what he was saying? We have 500 days. You don't understand. We only have 500 days to stop this. So we have 500 days to be able to come to some sort of a global agreement on how we're going to financially change the climate. That's what he's saying. They're putting these arbitrary dates on things, so they force you into action.
This is what makes this such a fun topic, is because to scare you, they have to give you this drop-dead death date. Because if they just say it's in the future, no one's going to be scared. So they give you these drop-dead death dates, and then we're fortunate enough to sit here and watch them all pass with all these predictions be wrong, and it's fun to revisit them. The problem is that the media never comes back to it. We can come back to it. People who want the truth check up on these predictions, but the media reports them, the scary stuff, and then lets it go forever. And these guys don't get punished for them. But many of the people that we've done these predictions for years and gone over these, many of these people wound up being lead authors for the UN IPCC climate report. They didn't get discredited and leave the industry. You make one of those predictions. Don't you, I don't know, work at Blimpie for the rest of your life? Like, you're not still a scientist after you miss that bad.
No,
These
you work
guys,
at Blimpie if you say the caliphate is coming.
Right? Yes, you do work at Blimpie in that particular instance. But that's amazing.
Because these guys, the reason why these guys have great jobs is because these guys played the game. These guys were there, and they know that the power brokers know they can count on them to say whatever it is they need to say to be able to get this done.
Although, like Al Gore, they put some conditions on it. They put some disclaimers with it, so that if you do happen to check back with them and their predictions, they've got some outs. Like Gore did in the, it was the ice cap thing, right? Like, according to Dr. Mathlalowski, according to some of Dr. Mathlalowski's research, some of the summer month, this thing...
And some of the models
some of the
suggest Dr. Maslowski that
not everybody, but just Dr. Maslowski.
There is a 75% chance.
A 75% chance. Another disclaimer
that the entire North Polar ice cap
during
not the entire polar ice cap,
and not the entire summer,
right.
Just some of the summer months.
The summer months could be completely
completely
ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years.
5 to 7 years.
And how many years has it been since
it's been 7 or 8.
And literally
now.
Any outcome could fit that prediction.
Yeah.
None of the stuff he predicted as possible came true, but because he had so many disclaimers on it, I guess in theory he could defend it. For example, one policy that Germany implemented cost $110 billion. And if all the Al Gore science was correct, if it was right, we're not arguing the science here, if it was correct, the $110 billion would delay global warming by 37 hours. You're spending $110 billion, so in the year 2100, the temperature that would arrive on January 1st instead comes on January 2nd.
Yeah, I think that's well worth it.
Okay, wow, that's
an
not
extra day alive.
Wow,
yeah, I think that's worth it.